Hello y'all and welcome back to the channel. This one is a quick one regarding three things. 1. Range. 2. Charged range. And 3. Can I make it change range? I'm going to try a test over 200 miles to see if I can make that final charging figure that I get of around 266 go up a tiny bit like a normal EV does. You can make that figure change quite often by driving slower, by braking easier, using more regen. Well, that's what I'm going to do with this Tesla Model 3 and see what happens. And also, I'm going to clock, obviously, the miles per kilowatt hour. Well, I think we all know the days of noisy traffic, as in this video, are soon coming to an end. But there's something else we all want as well, in my opinion, and that's range. Some say they can live without it, but most want it. Good morning all. Quite early this morning, not long been up. But this video and post will all be about what I get on a complete charge and what I get on a complete charge after driving in chill mode and at legal speeds. Now it's going to be very hard for me, and I'm not a speeder, don't get me wrong folks, but I do drive this thing relatively hard all the time. I'm getting around 4 miles per kilowatt, fraction under maybe, sometimes the way I drive it. Let me show you where it is at the moment. 266 range, okay, full green bar, charging complete. Look at this, look at that, see that, just while I'm on it. Lots of energy, the more the merrier. Anyway, morning. 266. Some folks say it makes no difference whatsoever depending on how you drive a Tesla, because you always have that charging complete number. It won't vary. Say chill mode, super slow, no more than legal speeds, light footed off the lights, gonna let cars pass me, even if it's a BMW. I know. And then we're gonna look at charging it again, and then we'll see what it charges to. So let's go on to trips, and here we are. But since the last charge, I've now done 17 miles. I've used 4 kilowatt, so it's about 206 watts for each mile. The figures you're seeing now are a bit, premature, because obviously this is going to be, I'm going to do this at 200 miles since the last charge. Now, as regards this figure here of obviously you can see that 244, I'm not just going to knock 200 miles off that, because that's just 200 miles off the range. I'm going to actually knock 200 miles onto the car. In other words, that will show since last charge what mileage I've done. It's just to prove two things. One, if it's going to charge to any more than 266 on the next charge, which I know it's not. And secondly, what's the best I can get for every kilowatt I'm banging in this thing. Any EV that is giving you 4+ is very good. There's a lot of EVs out there that are only giving 2.5. I know the Porsche Taycan, even if you run it slow as hell, struggles to give you 3 miles per kilowatt. Now, as soon as I've done this, trust me, chill mode is coming off and I'm going back to normal. Just got back from a bit of a road trip. Let me get on what I've got to get on here, find trips. And there you go. This is day 2 of this 200 mile scenario. Since last charge, as you can see there, it reads a 62 mile, energy used 12 kilowatt an hour. And so it's been working out an average now of 190 watts per mile. That's brilliant. Not put my foot down, tried to be gentle on the accelerator, but kept up to normal legal speeds. If I'm in a 50, I'll be doing 50. It's as simple as that. So very, very good so far. So there's your day 2. More to come. what it is, there is two figures showing here that I don't want to confuse people with. There is the top range figure, which I basically get every time I charge this car up, and that's part of why we're doing this. Second part being, obviously, like I've stated, I want to know what the best I can get on driving that I'm pleased with, and so that's the other figure, the actual miles I'm putting on this thing as I'm going along. Now let me explain something here and show you again. If you've not got a Tesla, I might be confusing you. What you have is the number here, which is what's left in the range estimated by the Tesla system, by the car. Then of course you've got what we're looking at on the trip side, okay, which we mentioned yesterday. Now the difference we have here is that little red dot there is what tells you when you've got Sentry mode on, i.e. here, look, Sentry mode. Click that and it takes you to what the car has been seeing and being recorded at night and during the day whenever it's on. Now I have that on all the time, so every night when the Sentry mode is on, Sentry can actually use a fair bit of the good old battery there. So if you've got 266, which we started with, by the time we've actually used it over 5 days to get this 200 mile used, I'm going to maybe lose, let's say, 30 mile range if I've got Sentry mode on every single night. So that 170 I'm getting showing now is, and the 62 mile we've done, doesn't make sense to 266. That's why. So I hope that enlightens you on that one. Well, here we go, day 4. Now I'm not going to count day 3 because I only put about 8 mile on this thing, so I didn't come back in here and do exactly the same again on a daily basis. It wasn't worth it for that few miles. What I will say is that I have noticed a massive loss of battery power stroke range from using the Sentry mode over the last 4 days, constantly 24-hour. I'll come to that in a moment. Let me show you where we are on day 4 anyway. Did a few miles today, not a great deal, bit of grocery getting, that kind of thing, as you do. Let's have a look. Okay, let's bring it up, see where we are. Are you ready, folks? And there you go. We have now done 109 miles, used 22 kilowatt hour of energy at 199 watt hour per mile. Okay, so we are still below the 200, still going for more than 5 mile per kilowatt. Thumbs up. Normally don't do a thumbs up, but that's good. So that's where we are so far. This is the end of day 4. The downer is, and this is where I'm going to point it out to you, 86 mile range. Now do the maths, folks, or my American friends, do the math. You don't use the S, do you? 86 mile, 109 mile only done. So have we got enough to do the 200 mile? No is the answer. That's grim. I'm going to have to put this on charge so that we can get that 200 mile, all because of the Sentry mode. This is a big one, folks, and if you don't own a Tesla and you're going to buy a Tesla, they are beautiful, great, magnificent cars. Don't let anyone tell you any different. With great tech and everything else. The only downer is Mr. Musk and his team did not design Sentry mode without thinking about energy loss and range loss, just for a few cameras to be on. And I know there's a lot more happening in the background when the Sentry's on, and it's a very useful tool if you leave it somewhere in a bit of a dicky area, or at night time when you want a bit more security for your car and the alarm system in general. So if you do the maths, we're not far off. 86 and 109, just a few miles out. But I'm going to put it on charge for about an hour, and that will give us enough to finish off this 200 mile test. It's because of Sentry. And again, look, let me just spin you around again. I've still got it on now, look, and there's the little red dot. So what we're going to do is switch it off. Hello and welcome back. We are now on day 6. Day 6 has seemed a bit weird. I've not done a great deal of mileage. Day 5 I didn't show you because we didn't really go anywhere. This is taking a lot longer than I anticipated. I thought this 200 mile plus would go very rapidly. Well, afraid not, folk. I'm like dragging it out like no tomorrow because I'm not going anywhere. It's been a very slow week. Weather's been okay. Should have took some, ideals from the weather and gone out and do something, but I never did. So anyway, here we are. Like I say, this is day 6. I'm going to bring you around now and show you where we are. I did a few miles yesterday and a few more this morning, so we are getting there, but we've still not hit that magical 200 plus miles. To give us some data, let me bring you aside here and show you where we are. Okay, here we are, back on the Tesla screen, getting quite a second home to you, all you folk out there watching this. We are now at 168 miles, 34 kilowatt hour actually used, and we are just on the 200 watt hour miles. Now, if you noticed, this since last charge malarkey is now 59 mile. Well, that's because I had to charge it up a tiny bit, like I said previously. So that one's kind of been lost. But luckily, trip A is identical because at the same time, I used my common sense and tripped A since my last charge. So they would have been identical in every format. So let's get on to day 7. This will be now nearly a week. So let's hope we'll get it completed tomorrow. Okay, as you speak now, I've got the lady wife holding the camera as I'm driving. It's 199, finally people. It looks if we might get to the 200 any minute now. There you go. Just changed to 200 mile. That's what we were looking for, plus. So now I can get the data, when we get home, sort it from there. Okay, here's the final data. It's a photo we took. We covered 204 mile. Our total energy used was 40 kilowatt hour. The average energy was 198 watt hours per mile. Now, obviously, if you do the maths, it's about 5.1 miles, okay, roughly, for every kilowatt hour you're banging in this thing. That to me is pretty good. So there's the data we've been looking for, and now I'm going to put it on charge. There you go, she's on charge. So let's just see what comes up on the dashboard. Is it 266 or is it more? We'll find out. Power gate, you don't get that on the earlier models. Okay, let's get in and have a look. Charge limit is still 266. So, driving it like a vicar and all the rest of the things that I said at the beginning has made zero difference, zilch difference to this charge limit. Well, that just about rounds this one up. Hope it's been educational. So we found out that the 266 or 268 or 270 or whatever you get on your standard range will always be the same in that top right hand corner. And it doesn't matter if you drive it like a granny, a priest, a vicar, whoever, you are not going to change that top right corner total of the estimated range. I knew it was going to go that route. It's different if you've got an EV from the Stellantis group, be it Vauxhall, Peugeot, even BMW, because my i3, I could change what I could range that to and charge it to, depending on my driving styles. Tesla, it's a set thing. This car knows that it cannot do any more, never mind how you drive it. You're not going to improve that top right hand corner range. This is 266. It was 270 about 3 months ago. I'll cover that on my next post with the degradation post. I won't say any more than that. And we've obviously betted on the mileage. My wife loved it, me going slow for the 204 mile we did. I was glad to get back out of chill mode into standard mode for that last 18 mile home. Don't be put off by this Sentry mode malarkey. It's probably one of its weaknesses, you know, and a lot of people wouldn't actually say it is a weakness, but I'm going to state that now. And I've seen what it can do, and I've seen the 50 or 60 mile it took off my range doing this test, having it on for 6 nights solid, you know. So it's been a bit of an education to myself as well. Anyway, that's it. Hope you subscribe if you're a first time watcher. Where have you been? If you've not been here before, I would like to know. Please subscribe, press that icon so you get the bell go boom every time I post. That way you'll be one of the first to watch it. I'm getting out of here. My bum's getting numb and I'm sitting on these bricks, and this wheel ain't very comfortable either, so make your wheels more comfortable, Tesla. I'm gone.